All right. Here we are again. And I am working on launch. It's been a while for me to work on this. A couple weeks, I'd say. And I did a bit in the interim. So I'm going to zoom in again. Boom, boom. Yes. So today I am going to work on this area and this area, and then I'm going to give it a once over and quite possibly call it done. Could happen. But if it's not done, then I'm not going to rush it. It will be what it will be. All right, then. So let me just start right on here. Now I have a lead line, very faint, but it is there. It's right there. So what I was thinking was, I'll come around with this line. Yeah, this is where I want to start. And I'm just going to get right into it. Like that. Right. Oh yes, I remember now. There was something I was going to do with something coming up and over. Yeah, that's right. I remember now. I was thinking about this earlier. Let me go ahead and get rid of that little bit. All right, so what I have is this, and I was thinking that I would like to bring something in and out into some type of a portal hole and then out this way, just ever so slightly. And I'm going to do that. So something like... Right. Now from there, I can make some type of an escape hole. We all want one of those. Something like that. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so what I have is the guideline. Yeah. And before I move into what's going to happen with this, I'll just go ahead and fill this area in. I've been itching to do that for a while. It's been a bit itchy. A bit itchy. Not too much pressure. No pressure. Some pressure. Not too much pressure. Yeah. It's just a drawing. I'm laying the line down here. The strokes here, very little pressure on the pen. And there's some buildup right here, so I'm messing with that. I can't control how much ink comes out of the nib. But there are some factors that I can control, like the pressure and the direction. Yes. But sometimes the ink just says, I'm going to come out all at once. Hello. And when that happens, you just have to go with it. What are you going to do? You can't erase. All right. So this is the challenge of the ballpoint pen, that aspect. Well, that's one of the challenges. It's a fun medium, though. It's so immediate. Pencil is too, of course. Paint is too. So is digital. So I guess it's all immediate. Paint, you have to wait for that to dry, though. Gotta use water if it's acrylic. Clean your brushes. But paint sure is fun, too. I'll be doing some of that in a bit, because it's getting warm and humid, and the paper suffers in humidity, as you can imagine. Summertime in Tokyo is not dry time. No. Wintertime, springtime, fall, early spring, that is, late fall. These are fine for drawing, but man, that summertime is brutal. It is very humid, and the paper buckles. The teeth of the paper gets soggy, starts to come apart, degrades. You gotta keep paper dry. This paper protector that my hand is resting on, it is helpful indeed. But there's just moisture in the air. It's not really so much what I'm touching it. Anyway, so how's this going here? What's going on with this piece? Seems to be going all right. Yeah. No real problems yet. Not that there will be. It's not inevitable. But yeah, this is fairly smooth sailing so far. Yeah, I'm not displeased. I am not displeased. Okay, so I'm turning this around. You can see that I'm turning it around. Why? Because I'm going to start laying down the pen stroke from this angle here, from this starting point. Because I got to get right up against the line here, so it's easier. I think this information I'm giving you right now, this is like, this is intuitive. It comes, it's not really something I even have to explain. I don't. You know it. When you're working on these things and you need to put your pen right up against the edge, you'll know. Turn your paper around. You know that. Yeah, this is let's come along. Not there yet, of course. I'll keep tapping my pen like this and turning it on this paper because the ink just it wants to come out. But I don't want it to come out too much, so I'm gonna dab it a bit on the paper. It's one advantage to the summertime, heated time, is that the ink will flow a little bit better. In the winter, I will put the pen under my arm with the cap on it, of course, and I'll just have it there for 5 minutes or so. Or I'll put it in my pocket. I'm wearing these very loose sweatpants and put it in my pocket there. It warms up, and then the ink flows better. Because of the humidity in summertime, I would like to work on some thumbnails, which are fast sketches, and also preliminary, meaning something that you create as a framework. So I am looking forward to doing some painting also during the summer. I don't do a lot of painting, not a lot. I'm not a big painter. Yes. Debatable. Yeah. Kind of seems like it should get darker down here. I'm not sure though. We'll see. It'll happen or not. Yes, I'm not a big painter. No, I'm not a big painter. I'd like to be. I have never painted with oils. I'd like to do more watercolor. I don't remember painting with watercolor, but I'm sure I have. But I'm pretty sure I've never painted with oils, not properly. Not sat down and even experimented. Although I have many oil paints in this artist paint kit I got for Christmas many years ago when I was a young man. And they're still in there, little tubes. I'm not sure the quality of the oil paint, but it was a big painter set, artist set. Had watercolor, still have it. Acrylic, pencils, crayons. Yeah, so gouache. But yeah, had some very bad brushes in there. Threw those away. So yeah, I should get on oil. Let's try it out. I've looked at a couple tutorials online. Oil's beautiful, isn't it? Just so pretty. The way it is smooth. Very nice. All right. So it's not quite right, but let me zoom out just to get an idea here. There we go. Make it easier to take a look. So what I was thinking was I pull this part right here out, and then maybe something along these lines here, a little smaller, but and then over here as well. Yeah, this can go darker. This area, I think, something like that. Yeah. Take a sip of my coffee. And back at it. Boom. That was a premature boom. All right, I'm going to do this tapping motion. And I'm going to go at a different angle, a little bit of a different angle. I'm not saying this is quite cross-hatching, no, but could be. There may be some hatching going on. Hatching being lines like this. These are more random. I was thinking about this drawing as its purpose. What is it here to do exactly? So often we'll have commissions. Somebody will want something from us. Or we're doing art for a client that needs to meet some type of a commercial fulfillment. That would also be a type of commission, but we call that freelance, I guess. Yeah, fine art commissions, commercial gigs that we have. But this here, this has no purpose outside of being art. It started out as being a demonstration of a technique, and it still is fulfilling that purpose, certainly. But it's for me, and it's for you. If you're watching and you're enjoying this, then it's for you. It doesn't have there's no story attached to it yet. There could be. But at this point, there isn't any of an obligation of sorts. It's not trying to fulfill anything other than just making me happy, satisfying me. And there's a sense of freedom in that. There's pure freedom. I do whatever I want kind of thing. I wonder, though, if it's entirely for the best, without a goal exactly. And I do have goals. For example, this could end up in a show that I'm going to have, that I hope to have in the future. I could sell it before the show. I could give it away. Or it could just be relegated to this video and to a drawer or a box. I'm not done yet. Yes. So there's that aspect, that criteria that it's fulfilling. And then there's the other criteria, which is it's going to make me satisfied. There's this itch idea again. There's an itch that I need to scratch. And that's why I do it. It's a psychological need to fulfill something that needs to see its way to fulfillment, to fruition, yes. whatever the it in question here is the design, what I'm doing now, this thing. Now, when I first started with this, I didn't have any idea at all it was going to look like this. Completely new as it unfolded. And then as it unfolded, I started to see possibilities, but still, I'm surprised. Everything I do, it is not exactly as I had imagined. I thought that I would be filling this in. I had a guess about that, and here it is. But I didn't know it was going to look like this exactly. I still don't know. Is it going to be darker? I think that's interesting when you go back and look at this video. When I look back at it, because I know what I'm thinking now, and I won't be thinking this later. As soon as you look at the video, then this moment is done, and you're just viewing it in another moment, but it's a moment captured. I find that so interesting. Okay, so the purpose of this is twofold. It's the demonstration aspect of it, and then there's the fulfillment, my own psychological fulfillment requirement aspect of it. Yes. Now, when I have a goal that is set due to some assignment, be it a commercial or commission, I still am working within the I must be satisfied with this aspect of things. Yes, that is still there, prominent in fact, because that is why it looks like it does, because it's coming from whatever governs the pen strokes that I put down. My imagination, I don't know where that comes from though. That's the question, isn't it? I've heard it said art for art's sake. Something for something's sake. There's no goal outside of its own existence. It looks like there was some previous indentions on this page. Something pressed up against it, or there was something underneath the page itself. But it's not too bad, actually, surprisingly. There's a real lack of any disturbance of the page itself. It's quite smooth, considering it's simply standard typewriting paper. It's rather smooth, though. I have a feeling this is a little higher quality than a lot of the typewriting paper that I use. This particular one's a little more expensive, a little smoother, takes the ink a little bit better. Lets it ride on top rather than absorbing it. And that's a good thing. Some paper, the ink rides just only on top. It's not absorbed at all, and you could smear it quite easily. The really smooth papers like that, very silky paper, and I don't like drawing on that. It's not very good. At first it seems, yeah, pretty decent, but then It's like sleeping on a real soft mattress. It's like, oh, this is nice. And then not long after, boy, your back hurts. It's a similar thing, that paper. This paper's not too bad at all. Pretty good. Not the best, though, but pretty good. So I'm nearing the end, I feel, of this area. It's getting there. I haven't touched this area right there. Not at all. I don't know what I want to do with that, whether I want to leave it like that or darken it in. I'm not sure. These are the thoughts that I go through when I get to this point. If it's not pre-planned, I just have to wonder. Oh, see? So let's see. Ah, see, it's getting a little bit darker here. There was a line. You could see it in right there, perhaps. And I've been going around it, not hitting it. So if you build up the dark around it, then it'll match the line's darkness and then it'll disappear. That's how you deal with ink that you don't want. Ah, see, so it's starting to build up a little bit here, which is not bad because I did say that I wanted it to look along this line here. Kind of freaks me out a little bit when I first see the ink building up like that. It's like, oh no. But then I remember this is how it goes. Every time it's like, I've been doing this for so many years and I still am a bit startled by sometimes there are accidents that lead to successes within the drawing itself. Because I'm striving, you see, I'm striving to be satisfied with this area. I'm just not. So keep not being satisfied with it, and then you keep working on it. It's like you're picking on it, right? You know, just keep picking on it, keep messing with it. And eventually, at some point, it will snap into place. And I do think that that could be the case always, really. Like not it's possible that the ballpoint pen could just fail and I can't go anymore because I've covered all the areas with the ballpoint pen. So what can you do then? Well, you can add some maybe opaque white paint or some color. See, so you can always go until you're satisfied with a piece. That is, unless you rip it up, you know, which I've done. Very rare. I mean, I've done it maybe once or twice only in my whole life. Just gets so frustrating. You're like, you just rip it up. And I've done that. And I always feel terrible. So, or I felt terrible a couple times I've done it. So I just don't do that. You get really frustrated with a piece. You just breathe. Yeah, frustration does happen though. It really does. It's easy to get frustrated when you want something to be a certain way. I want this to go in this direction, and it's not going in this direction. You just like, it's only a drawing. You can always do another one. All that time. I'll call it practice. But I have a deadline. Yeah, that's when it's a problem. You have a deadline, right? How's it going? How is it going? Yeah. I think this is an interesting piece, actually, if I do say so myself. It's one of my more, for me, it's one of my more interesting pieces. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe because it's new. I tend to like the ones that I'm working on in the current crop, because I'm excited about them. It's like, yay, this is coming along, satisfying me. Now I'm going down into this area that I wasn't sure I was going to mess with, and here I am. I'm getting a little sweaty. Thank goodness I have this. You can see the buckling of the paper just from the moisture in my hands. It's not incredibly hot today, no, but in my house, and this is the third floor of a tiny house I live in Japan, heat does rise, right? And it has risen. Heat has risen. I have the air conditioning on the second floor. I would have the air conditioning on this floor, but after 12 years, it doesn't work anymore. So we are in the process of getting it replaced. Cost of living. But yeah, it needs to be replaced, and it's just not there. There's no air conditioning on the third floor here. I really need a dehumidifier more than anything. But it would have to be a pretty powerful one. Take all the moisture out of the air. Feels a little bit like I'm in a greenhouse. I thought I was almost done with this area. I feel like I should back off of it just a little bit and go to someplace else and work, which I think I will in just when I get to a good stopping point. You really do have to find a stopping point. Otherwise, yeah, it's hard to get back into that area as you were. Is that true, actually, what I just said? I don't know. I don't think that's true. It's not so hard to get back into any area. Oh, look, I'm adding some ink. I just added some ink there. I was wondering if I was going to, and I just did. Yay. Welcome to the ink club. That's all right. Still lighter. Is it good to be lighter, though? Or should I go darker there? That's a question. Part of me thinks I should go darker, but what do I know? I have to do it first before I can see it. It's hard for me to see it without doing it. I don't have the great imagination. That's the thing. I don't see this before it comes out. Not really. Now this is cross-hatching right here. Yeah. Okay. Now, as I said, I wanted to work on some other area, and this is the area I'm going to work on now. So here we go. I'm going to come at it from this angle. So what do I think about that? That's interesting. It's not great. Not great. But interesting. Which is... interesting is great. Is it greatly interesting? Not my call. Got a little dark. A little dark. Pretty quickly. I think that the cartridge here spit out this ink. I think that's what happened. Might have just been my own impatient hand. I'm not sure. Whichever, but it got dark there. Which was not what I had intended. No matter. There it is. Dark. Dark, dark, dark. Yes. Now I'm going to do a little cross-hatching coming from this angle here. Yeah. Pretty good. Not bad. Oh, I just noticed this angle. This bit right here. Okay, so the idea was that it was going to go up through this area and then out here. Now, what I see is this is a little wide. So what I want to do is, let's see. Oh, I'll do it and then explain. All right, here we go. Yeah, it's pretty good. So I wanted to reduce the width of this. And one way to do that was to bring it in. Yes, 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 that's perfect. That's what I wanted. How does it look like this? Pretty good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whew, that was a little bit of a tension-filled moment. I want to bring it up a little bit higher, make this arch a little higher, but yeah, that's the idea. So right like that. I went a little beyond residue, but that's okay because I can do that. That's a cool thing. Just pull around more. More. Yep. Good. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. It's all right. Ah, I see something also that I want to work on, and that's this line right here. I want to make that a little bit, I don't know, more prominent maybe. How do you do that? You darken it in. Like so. Yep. So this is a bit splotchy, and I'm not going to be able to enjoy this piece until I get the splotchiness out of it. So that's what I'm going to be working on right now, is just getting this splotchiness out of it. But you know, I'm thinking that might be something to do off camera. Okay, I'll do that later. That's a boring process. But yeah, this is you be coming along. You be coming along. Okay, so I have this, and I want it to come out like that. But I do wonder about that. I don't want it to go too much. Just a bit. I don't know. Now I know. Now I think I have an idea of what I want to do. Yeah, so this is going to come out here, and it's going to create like a hood that goes like that. So like that. And then right. So a little bit in the downward direction. Yeah. Okay, I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see what the idea was there. Pretty good. Now that definitely will give me a balance. I'm going to do something right up in here, and then so this part came out like that. Good. That was a successful bit. So what I'm going to do now is just fill it in. That's simple. What could be simpler? Famous last words. You have to be famous before you can have famous last words. Is that true? Not entirely. You could become famous later, and those words could come back to haunt you. Sure, that could happen. All right, and Now, so this is connected, you see. That's a definite connection there. Even though this is rather dark, I'm still trying to go at it from a layering point of view. Yes, the layering is so often effective. In paint, I believe it's called glazing. So it's a type of glazing for ink, for oil-based ink. You can't do this with water-based ink. There may be somebody out there that can do it. I'm like, wait a minute, I can do it. I'm like, all right, well, I can't do it. And that's okay. Can't do it all. I have my limitations. But if you can take water-based ink pen, and if you can create a soft area like this, I would love to see that. I really would. It's not a challenge or anything. It's just, if you can do it, please show me. Show me how. It's a bit binary, those pens. And they serve their purpose well. Absolutely. I love using those pens for thumbnail sketches, quick drawings, just line work. Yeah, I had expected that I was going to pull something up much like this area here. But when I went to do it, I thought, that's not quite right. Something doesn't feel right about it. And that's why I didn't. Just went with my intuition, my gut. My gut said no. So I didn't do it. Instead, I did this. Okay, so now I'm going to mess with this part. All right, turn it around. Come at it from this side. But I don't really want it to be darker so much, so I'm going to very lightly. Trying to keep this white line here. The reason I say trying to because I sometimes get a little excited and I move in a little too closely. and then it's gone. All right, so still that is fairly light, but it's not as light as it was. So I'm going to tap it from this end. Just a little bit of a tap. When a little bit becomes a lot of bit. All right, so then I make my way back to the start of this area. And I build this up a little more, thereby making the contrast. Yeah, that's good, pretty good. Not super great, not super great, but not terrible. I like this area right here. That was good. Surprising. Didn't expect it to do that, and it did. It's nice. Hoping it would, and it did. Didn't disappoint me. I'm still here though, because there's some areas that are coming through that I want to make go away. Go away area coming through. Yeah. Okay. Pretty good. Yeah. Okay, I do see something that I want to work on right here. That. Getting in there, trying to be very, 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 very precise. A lot of varies. So many varies. Yeah. And then we have this last part right here, and actually, when I get a little closer, I can see I see some of this ink that has decided to escape the boundary. No thanks to me. All thanks to me. So I will deal with that. Okay. Right, the ink was out of this boundary area here, and if I mess with it enough, I can make it look like it's very soft beyond this line here. The way I'm doing it is I'm just, again, tapping, and more tapping than trying to draw a line, letting the weight of the pen itself be the distributor of the pressure, pushing down only as much as the ink or the weight of the pen will allow. Perhaps a little more, but not much, really. It's very light. Because if the ink is flowing correctly, meaning smoothly, and in summertime it does much better than winter, then it won't be a problem. The paper will take it. But of course the pen may be old or the ink dried up. There's all kinds of factors in that. But if the ink is working well, it'll go down on the paper. Yeah, I was saying it was as simple as, remember I said, simple as that. Just fill it in. Yeah, nah. Not that simple. I see a little rise up in here I want to take care of. It's going to bother me until I fix it. So if it bothers me, I bother it. Reciprocity. Okay, yeah. There you go. See? That's all right. One little more dab, and then we can call it done. Because, yeah, this part, I believe, it's going to go up into there, you see. So, yes. And back around. Yeah. Interesting. So I'm going to put a little bit more on the inside here. A little more ink. Just to thicken it up near the base there. I want to leave that as it is. I like that. Doesn't mean it's going to stay. There might be some sabotage, but I think, yeah, I think that's all right. All right, let me zoom out. See what we're doing here. How does it look? How does it look? Let me give myself a little critique here. Now that this phase is feeling fairly good and finished. Came up, there's this bit here. I'm going to mess with this off camera because it does need some cleaning up. It's a little splotchy, but it can be smooth. And it takes time. Just got to go over it and over it and over it. But this comes up through here. Looks like it matches that area. That's good. I was looking to do that, so that's a nice thing. And this definitely works for me. It's like a cap of sorts, like this over here. This area is nice. This tends to go a little bit like that, and I don't want it to taper so much, so perhaps I'm gonna move this up a bit. That's the plan. Again, I don't really know what's going to happen, but I hope to fix this idea of the tapering. Yeah, I think it's a good effort today. Very nice indeed. Still thinking about how this is going to work. Yeah, I don't know. Just this is what happens. You got to look at things and try and solve them. Look at them and solve them. That is my duty. Okay. Well, I'm going to take a much-deserved break. It's been over an hour. This is one of the longest ones I've done. So, let's see. I worked here, mostly. Yeah, just this area right there. That was an hour's worth of work. Wow, surprising. All right, well, until next time, out.